Why am I not good enough? Why do I always feel like I have nobody? Why do they always leave? Am I ever gonna be good enough for anyone, for myself? My whole life, I have asked myself these questions over and over and over again. My whole life, I've always felt like I have been the second option to everything and to everyone. Like I was never a priority, and like I never mattered enough to be the priority, to feel important, to feel like I was enough. Why am I talking about these things? Why did I start this video so depressing and so personal that I'm sure so many of you guys have asked these questions, girls and guys. A few videos back I had said that I wanted to be as honest as possible, that I wanted to share the most with you guys and stay truthful throughout this whole thing. I'm sitting here telling you guys how to be grateful and to practice gratitude, but I'm not even really telling you guys how I did it and how hard it was for me to be so grateful and to practice gratitude. When I say that I have always felt like I was never enough, like I was always a second priority, this came to everything in my life. This came to friends. I always felt like I didn't have anyone because I never had that person that was my best friend, you know, when they're like, oh yeah, though, that's like her best friend. And I never had that. And when I did feel that I could call someone my best friend, they already had their best friend, like the best friend. So I was always like third wheeling, you know, or I was always the second option. If my best friend couldn't do her things with her best friend, then that's when she would call me. And that's always happened in general. I've never been able to find my place, and that's how I've always thought about it. For my group of friends in middle school and that went through high school, and some of them are still my really good friends, I was in that group. They're all so gorgeous, and I was always the last girl that a guy would look at, that a guy would, okay fine, she said no, well let's go to that one. I mean, I have been bullied constantly for my weight and for my looks because I was always the thicker girl and all my friends were the skinny ones, and I always felt like I was never enough. If anything, the only thing I was good at is scaring people. And no one could bully my friends because they knew Vale was gonna come and fix that attitude. That's probably it. When it came to my family, I was always the quiet, weird one that would lock herself in her room. I was quiet when I was around them, but with my friends, they knew that I was crazy and wild, and so they were like, she's gonna end up pregnant at like 14, like you better watch your kid, or like she has anger issues, like she needs help. You know, that was always how they saw me, and I know this. And they saw my sister as like this talented, beautiful girl that was so social and just like so energetic, and shout out to my sister, the love of my life. And obviously the last part was about guys. I have always felt like a guy has never cared about my dreams, my passion, my personality, my goals were anything to them. The only thing that they ever wanted me for was my ass. I always constantly got cheated on, so you know the question of, am I ever gonna be good enough to someone so I won't be cheated on, you know, was always in the back of my mind. So I never felt like I was worthy, and that was something that I have struggled with ever since I started dating. I was in El Paso for high school, and I mean, I grew up here my whole life, and I just wanted to get out of El Paso. I didn't know where I fit in. I didn't think this was the place for me. I loved home, but I was like, I'm ready to start somewhere new. So I went off to college at the University of Colorado Springs, and my life was magical in the beginning. I was able to start off fresh. No one knew who I was. I was in a different state, different city, different people. I was able to create my own life. So that's what I did. I joined a sorority to, you know, get that sisterhood experience, to meet girls that would always be there for me and put me first, so we could have this strong sisterhood that I've always wanted with friends. I was having the time of my life. I met some amazing girls. I was going out. I was living the college dream. I was having the best time of my life. I was finally able to fit in somewhere and not feel like I was out, and finally feel like I was a part of something. But obviously that came to an end very soon, starting from my sophomore year and then going into my junior year. I went through a lot of things that I will not mention because those are still very personal. I was dealing with a lot of things, and I went out one night, and not dealing with these things, I made some mistakes. I didn't necessarily think all of them were mine, but at the end of the day, I had to say that they were in order for things to move on. My whole sorority turned their backs on me. It went from my whole sorority saying that they were gonna be here for me and they were always gonna have my back no matter what happened, to them all turning their backs against me. For my closest sorority sister not being there for me, and only a select few that I never thought that would be there for me were, and me feeling like crap. Them not asking me what was going on, not caring what was going on, was a huge fall for me. From there, you know, things went downhill. I got into my depression even worse because I felt like I didn't have anyone. But me being that person of, you know what, I don't care, I'm gonna fight through this. I stayed in the sorority with no one talking to me at all. And then I went through some more things. Warning, these are gonna be a little personal, really a lot. But, you know, I've always talked about these things in a close environment with I've never had a problem talking about it with, for example, I was in a peer educating group with them and, you know, with my closest friends. But when it comes to the whole internet and people being able to judge me and or assume things, it's hard. But it is important for me to talk about these things because I think it's important to state these things so more people are comfortable talking about their feelings and not keeping things inside, because I know what it is to feel like you have no one on your side. I know what it feels like to not have anyone around and to feel like you can't talk to anyone about these issues, to have these thoughts and these feelings stuck because you feel so alone. And that's why I want to talk about these things. It's not for a pity party, it's so people can understand that it's okay to talk about these issues. So, stating that, I went through a lot of things, from attempting to commit suicide, to going to the doctor by myself because I knew I needed someone to talk to. And I couldn't really talk about this with my parents because I didn't want to worry them. I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I got medication for it. It worked for a little bit, and then I decided I wanted to stop taking the medication. During this period of time, I got jumped by 2 guys and 2 girls. I've gotten assaulted. I've gotten cheated on. I've lost friends. Parents were gone back to Texas. I was alone. I mean, this is the first time that I was actually alone. And lastly, risking my future in my own life because I wasn't taking care of my mental health because I didn't care about anything anymore. and I risked almost my whole entire future. Being a criminal justice major and going through the things that I went through, it was kind of, you know, hard to deal with these things that I was going through. I mean, my own sorority sisters called the cops on me and tried to get me kicked out of a sorority, tried to get me in trouble with the school. So finally, I was able to leave this haunted town, Colorado Springs. I graduated from college and I was on my way back to Texas to see what the hell I was gonna do with my life. I had to break up with my boyfriend at the time, which was hard because, again, I didn't feel like I was enough. And during this time, my last year in college, I probably gained, I don't even know how many pounds, but I gained so much weight that it brought me to obesity. I was drinking, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was going out, I wasn't resting, I wasn't working out, I wasn't taking care of myself. I got to the point where a doctor could tell me, hey, now you don't only just have depression and anxiety, but you're also obese. Right! I'm saying this because you know how I just stated all of the negative things that had happened in my life. My entire life, I've always just focused on those negative things, on the things that have happened to me. And I'm sitting here like asking myself, why are these things happening to me? Like, why do I keep going through things over and over again? Why can't I just be happy? There's one thing that I didn't realize, and that changed my entire life. And it's a thing that I have been preaching about over and over again on my videos, and it's gratitude, right? I just focused on these negative things, but did I even mention the positive things that are in my life? The things that I do have in my life. So going back again to friends, you know, back to the best friend that I said that's always had her best friend, you know, and it's her number one. I mean, sure, maybe I'm not her number one best friend, but this girl has been there for me through everything in my life since we were like 12 years old. This girl has never judged me once in her life, and she has constantly been there for me every time that I hit rock bottom. We've even like gone across the world to Europe, and I love this girl so much, and I appreciate all the memories that we have built. She brings so much good to my life and so many good memories with her. And then if I kept focusing that I've never had a best friend that I've stuck to, or I didn't realize that I've been able to gain a lot of best friends throughout my life, not just one girl that I depended on my whole life, but multiple girls. I mean, I met these amazing girls in Colorado. Their names are Amber and Mariah, and they were there for me through the hardest times of my life too during Colorado. I mean, I was depressed laying in bed, not wanting to do anything, and they would come knock at my door or call me and be like, come, no, we're going inside, nope, you're not staying here, we're leaving. And then when it comes to my sorority, if I had left when everything bad was happening, if I had just given up or like, you know, left the sorority and been like, I hate this sorority, all of these girls are horrible, I would have never met some of the greatest people of my life. I met such amazing girls that are still here with me to this day, like Sandra, like Tanya, like Michaela, like Megan Headley, my big Megan, you know, my little Allie. Even if like they left the sorority or stayed in the sorority, I've met so many girls that are so meaningful to me, and we have gone through our ups and downs, but at the end of the day, like, they're still here, and I'm still here for them. And we have made so many great memories, and because of Phi Sig and because of the sorority that I joined, I've gone through so many amazing moments in my life as well. I've learned so much and I've grown so much. Now when it comes to relationships, I have a special video of how these relationships impacted my life, but I couldn't focus on the negative things anymore when it came to relationships and when it came to why guys would always constantly cheat on me. And then when it came to my family, I was focusing on how they viewed my sister compared to how they viewed me, and like, why do that when we're both great, amazing women, right? But I didn't appreciate that my family has always been there too, constantly, that has always cheered me on when I accomplish something, that has always, like, even though they viewed me like a crazy child, they still believed in me and they were still happy for me and they still loved me. And soon, and I love my family to death. We have never fought about anything, you know, because our family is so strong and so powerful with love and God's love, you know, and I didn't focus on those things. So my point is, I've always focused on the negative things. And finally, when I started feeling blessed and happy for what I had, I started noticing all of these things. I went through something with my sorority, and it led me to the path where I thought that I wasn't gonna have a future with my career, but I was entirely wrong. After that happened, I found a new path in my career that I knew that I was always passionate about, but I just forgot in the back of my head. And it led me to such a great organization, CASA, and it was my internship, and I met so many amazing women in that organization, families that have made me realize what I really wanted to do with my life. So now I'm sitting here talking about being grateful and being able to keep on going. Now, left Colorado since the end of July, September, October, and it's November 12th. And I started my journey with my weight loss in the beginning of September, and now I've lost over 31 pounds. I gained a relationship that I never thought was possible, the most important relationship, and I met someone beautiful, and that was me, the person that I've always dreamt of being, have been closer with my family and have had the opportunity to spend more time with them because of all this time that I was away in Colorado. I went back to Colorado to visit my friend Amber, and then I even got closer with Michaela and Tanya during this time, and I saw sorority sisters that I didn't get to really say bye to. And you know, I had left Colorado in this negative attitude that I hated this place with all my heart, and this time when I left feeling so happy and like I could finally start a new chapter in my life, and so blessed for the people that I did meet in Colorado. I was able to close some doors with some people I left open in Colorado that I still appreciate and love with all my heart. You know who you are. And life is just getting so much better, but don't get me wrong, I am still working through things. I am still learning things, and I will continue to grow each and every day. You know, some days it is hard to be positive and feel all of this gratitude. Some days it's hard to like focus on even just the small things that you could be grateful for. But at the end of the day, that's how we grow, and that's how we learn. Just know that every little thing that happens in your life is for a reason, no matter what it is. Everything that you go through in life, try and take something good out of it. I'm sharing this because I know I'm not the only one that goes through these things. I was always struggling to find someone to go eat with and to go to the movies with and, you know, to go out with. But at the end of the day, being alone taught me how to love myself, that I could go to the restaurant by myself and just sit there and enjoy a meal by myself in my own company, that it showed me how to not depend on anyone for my own happiness, you know. And I owe that all to my mom. Shout out to her, because she taught me how to be so independent, but also to realize that it's okay to get some help from time to time. And that's why I want to be that help, because again, I know how it feels like to think that you don't have anyone that cares about your feelings, but trust me, there's someone out there. You just have to focus on the positive things and realize how much you actually have. There's always this saying that I go by, and is that God never gives you anything that you can't handle. And if you're not religious, then the universe doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. Everything that you go through, know that you can handle it and that you can grow from it. Know how much you are worth, because you are worth so much. Bao vale todo, and tú vales todo. Translated English, it's you're worth everything. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. This was honestly such a hard video to do. I had to pause a lot of times and be like, don't cry. But it's important to talk about these things. It's important to realize that you're not the only one that goes through things. It's important to talk about your mistakes, because, you know, how does a person even learn if they don't commit a mistake? Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. You know someone that is going through something, please reach out to them. Check up on them. Or if you are that someone that's going through something, please reach out to someone. Your feelings are so important, and you are so important. And I want people to realize that you are the most important person of your own life. Thank you guys so much for listening to me. I know it was a bit much. I am so thankful for you guys, and thank you guys for tuning into Bao Vale Todo. And I will talk to you guys later.